The following presentation will outline my analysis of the psychological elements of my volleyball performance. A particular focus of the analysis will be on enhancing my performance in the act of the serving in the game of volleyball. This analysis involves the identification of the psychological impacts on my serve. Specifically, my goal setting, my ritualization, and my arousal, as these aspects are proving to be the greatest influences on my serving performance. As a result of this analysis, strategies and coping methods will be applied, allowing me to succeed in reaching an autonomous level of volleyball serving. As can be seen in the footage, there was a lack in consistency of execution that is required for a successful serve. Dr. Glenn Klessler in 2014 stated that overthinking and overlooking the basics of a skill lead to a decrease in overall performance. As a server at an associate level, I have yet to succeed in the setting of SMART goals. This is a technique endorsed by Your Coach 2013 as being one that provides clarity and simplicity around overall improvement. SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and are achieved in a set time frame. This goal-setting technique is of great value to me personally, as it allows me to clearly identify what I want to achieve and the measures I need to put in place to achieve my ultimate goal of consistency in my volleyball serve. It is important for me to set a performance goal, which endorsed by Heed, Russell and Weatherby in 2011 as a goal that aims at overall improvement of an athlete. This conforms to the characteristics of SMART goal setting, as it is a specific goal that applies to a specific aspect of volleyball. The success is measurable via the number of successful serves that consistently go in. It is attainable through continual practice. It is realistic as it is a goal that is specifically set at an associative level, and it is one that is achievable in a relatively short time frame. As can be seen in my previous attempts at the serve, there was an absence of consistency or ritualization in the execution. A ritual is defined by Volleyball Magazine 2014 as a pre-performance activity of consistency. Rituals such as golf swings, cricket batting stances, along with basketball free throw shooting positioning, are all rituals that are applied to sporting performances due to the psychological sense of sameness and familiarity with the activity, no matter the difficulty that an autonomous ritual brings to performance. I have observed through this footage that my serving performance is greatly affected by fluctuation in arousal levels during my serve. APS 2014 stated that the inclusion of familiarity and consistency in the form of a ritual into a performance can facilitate the great array of arousal experienced by an athlete. An autonomous ritual performance can be seen in Jonathan Thurston's goal-kicking attempts, where ritual adds consistency in his performance, and as seen in the footage, it allows him to manage his arousal levels in such a high-stakes situation. I chose the example of Jonathan Thurston due to his position as an athlete at the top of his game and his performance of autonomous ritualization, which is a goal that I hope to achieve in the sport of volleyball and in particular in the serving aspect. If applied to my serving routine, such ritualization would be repetitive and a set-in-stone approach to every serve. It is through this consistent regime that athletes can perform at an optimum and autonomous level with great consistency in specific activities, allowing them to control fluctuating arousal levels. By adopting a consistent ritual into my serving regime, I aim to lift my serving consistency to that of an autonomous performer, just like Jonathan Thurston is in the art of goal kicking. Critical analysis of the ritualization performed by Jonathan Thurston shows that although operating at an autonomous level, he still applies the principles of SMART goal setting. His habitual adjustment of his headgear, followed by the use of a basic 4-step backwards, 3 steps to the left run up, reflects my approach to applying a ritual to a serve. It was evident in the video that although performing at an autonomous level, the application of this ritual enabled him to cope with the high arousal levels present at such a big occasion, resulting in the successful performance of his task. However, in my attempts to achieve serving consistency and success, diverse arousal levels were applied to my serve with varying results. Initially, a really high energy and high vocal approach was taken, on the assumption that this high energy approach would optimise my performance. This approach included a very loud warm-up, which resulted from intermingling and high encouragement from teammates. This approach was decided on as it has proven to be highly successful during other sporting events which have required instant energy bursts. Upon trial and analysis, it was evident that the upbeat and quite high arousal approach to my serve resulted in a decrease in consistency. This was a result of overlooking the SMART goals set by myself, which was identified to achieve the autonomous level of serving. In contrast, a more placid and low arousal based approach was then taken to the serve. This consisted of me performing the warm-up alone, listening to motivating music which enables me to really center myself and focus on the job at hand. This approach also proved to be unsuccessful for me, as there was a lack of energy and purpose in the performance which resulted in unsuccessful serving results. These performance outcomes are consistent with Jones and Hardy's 1989 inverted U diagram, which identified that too high or too low arousal will be of detriment to performance. It is through balanced arousal management that optimum performance is reached, optimum performance being my SMART goal. I then added a basic ritual to this approach, consisting of 6 bounces of the ball with the branding logo facing upwards, this being the chosen striking point for my serve. I found that this simple and consistent approach to the serve removes any anxiety and arousal fluctuations that I experience, allowing me to perform the serve to the best of my ability. As can be seen, through the application of the ritual, a more consistent serving result is achieved, in turn delivering on my set goal. The evolution of this ritual was a result of previous failed attempts at the application of positive mental imagery to my serve. This coping strategy of imagery, although successful in other aspects of my volleyball performance, proved to be problematic in the lead up to my serve, due to the difficulty I found with distraction from noise and activity in my immediate surroundings. I found through trialling this method that overall consistency of my serving was low. Therefore, I discarded this method. Thus, through in-depth analysis of my volleyball serve, the influence that arousal levels have on my performance was identified as a critical element. Through the application of the SMART goal-setting regime and a pre-service ritual, I was able to combat these arousal fluctuations, enabling me to adhere to my SMART goal, which will enable me to achieve the autonomous level of volleyball serving, whilst improving my overall contribution to our success as a team. Based on these psychological techniques learned throughout this unit, and their positive approach it has had on my serving consistency, this approach of goal setting and arousal management will be applied to all future sporting endeavours in which I take. This presentation utilised the following resources: